This is Vince at Discount Inboard Marine. Today we're going to index a distributor and drop it in. There are no spark plug wires on this engine. This is a left-hander standard rotation engine. So the first thing we're going to do is bring the number one cylinder up to the top of the compression stroke. And to do that, all the spark plugs are out of the engine. We're going to stick our finger in the number one spark plug hole, and then we're going to take a breaker bar with a 15/16 inch socket on it. That'll go on the crankshaft pulley bolt, and we're going to rotate this. Now this will sound backwards, but we're going to rotate it clockwise because the marine industry views everything from the rear of the engine. So it's going to go that way. That's a left-hand engine. And we're going to stick our finger in this spark plug hole, and we're just going to rotate this till we feel air pushing out. And I can feel the air pushing out, and now our timing mark should be right about on 0. Your timing marks are right here on the harmonic balancer, and there's a little pointer right here. And after you feel the air stop pushing out of your cylinder, you should be right on 0. And then you know you're at the top of the compression stroke. Now we're going to drop the distributor in.
Action. Okay,
so the wire's towards the back. My main concern is that I can drop the distributor in all the way and catch the oil drive, which is in the bottom of the engine block. So we might have to twist this around a little bit. We're almost there. Okay, we've got our distributor seated all the way down. Now we're going to put our rotor on. And then we're going to take note of where that rotor is pointing. And it's really not a bad idea to even mark it with a pen or something. It's just about dead even with the latches for the distributor cap. So what we're going to do is take the cap and we're going to seat it down. That rotor is pointing closest to this distributor hole, so you can kind of tell right where it's at. It's almost dead center. So we're going to rotate this distributor a little bit. Until we get this rotor to point dead on one of the spark plug holes. And there we're pretty close. This is going to put us close enough to hook this wire up to the coil, and this is going to go to the negative side of the coil, and this will allow us to start the engine, because now we're close enough where the engine should start. And then once it starts, we're also going to have, well, before it starts, we want to take this little lockdown tab, and this will lock down the distributor, and that just bolts down at the base of the distributor, and there's a lip down in there that it'll catch. And then once that's, you don't want to tighten it, you just want it in there loose, because when you start the engine, the timing is going to be a little bit off, and we'll do another video on how to time the engine and show you how that works. But that's how you index a distributor. Relatively simple, and just follow the steps, and then you're ready to start the engine. We'll be back with that one. Bye. Okay, we've indexed the rotor. We figured out that it is pointing to this spark plug hole, so this is going to be number one. And on most of these Ford engines, if you look at the intake manifold, the numbers of the cylinders are actually embossed right on the intake. So it's 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So now we know where number 1 is. Now we're going to use the firing order, and we're going to put our spark plug wires on. Okay, our firing order is going to be number 1 starts here. All Ford rotors turn counterclockwise, so it's going to be 1, 3, 7, 2, 6, 5, 4, 8. And we'll just start putting our spark plug wires on, starting with number 1. And number 1 is over on this side. These come underneath the exhaust manifold, and so these wires are cut a little bit different than their automotive counterparts because they come underneath the exhaust manifolds. The one other thing we have to do is put our spark plugs in, and these engines, this is a 302 cubic inch engine, and the 351 Ford standard engines use an Autolite 24 spark plug. And so you just put your spark plugs in, and then you're ready to put your wires on. And we'll go ahead and do that and then come back. Okay, we've got our spark plug wires on. We followed our firing order, 1, 3, 7, working counterclockwise. Got our spark plugs in, got our coil on, coil wire. We're doing a video on building this engine. We started with a base engine pretty much. We put the pulleys on, the thermostat, housing, raw water pump, alternator, carburetor, and about the last section that we have to do is the wiring harness. We're going to move on to that. Check out our engine build YouTube video, and that's how you index a distributor. Once that's all done, once you get the engine started, then you put the timing light on it, adjust your timing. On this particular engine, it's got a screw down Prestolite distributor cap, so it's 10 degrees before top dead center at 600 RPM. If you have any questions, please let us know at SKIDIM.com, or you can call us at 803-345-0996 extension 3. And I want to thank you for your time and hope this helps.